Remember that candidate who had such great promise, interviewed so well, checked all the boxes, seemed like exactly the person or darn near perfect for what you need. And then that individual shows up for work, and during the first week you go, where'd he go? Where's the candidate I interviewed? This is not the guy I talked to. This is not who I thought I was getting. I bet that's happened to you, just like it's happened to me, just like it's happened to many other leaders. And that's why this video on how that happened, why it's so important. We have to figure this out, and I have. It's a very subtle thing. It's called hiring blindness. Now, this is a form of inattentional blindness. You may have heard of this or seen this with the gorilla video. Famous video where there's people passing a basketball and you're told to count the number of passes between the people wearing white shirts, and there are people in black shirts doing the same thing. And you get to the end, and the original video there were 15 passes, I counted right. And then, there's this announcement and question by the announcer that says, "But did you see the gorilla?" And I'll never forget that because I rewound the video going, "What are you talking about?" And sure enough, middle of the video, about 10 seconds in, somebody in a gorilla suit walks in, turns towards the camera, gorilla beats its chest, walks out the other side. And I had never seen the gorilla. In fact, half of the people who watched the video, according to the people who made it, miss the gorilla. It's a perfect example of inattentional blindness. When our attention is focused on one thing, we can miss important details. This is why pilots sometimes can't see a plane right on the runway in front of them as they land. This is why in social experiments like the one with virtuoso violinist Joshua Bell, when he was playing outside of a Washington, D.C. subway, when more than 1,000 people passed by, only about 8 of them noticed. Inattentional blindness. This is why motorcyclists get hit by cars all the time. Drivers are not expecting them. Hiring blindness is a form of this perceptual phenomenon. And what it comes down to as an interviewer, when you're looking for certain things, you can miss other details. That's why I've studied this and why I want to help you with it today. I'm going to give you 3 very specific suggestions to help you incorporate your own form of cane or seeing eye dog, so to speak. Here's number 1. First, you have to learn your blind spots, your patterns. And I will tell you right now, there are patterns. If you look back over hires, you've probably made the same mistake again and again. Really assertive people who maybe didn't rub you the wrong way because you're assertive yourself, they came in and rubbed other people wrong, and this has happened 4 or 5 times. If you can learn to spot your blind spots, look for the patterns, you can start getting help or looking for those because now you're looking for them. They're not out of your perspective. That's the first thing. Second thing is incorporate seeing eye colleagues. That's better than the cane in this picture. It's actually like a seeing eye companion. It's somebody who is holding your arm as you cross the street, or maybe even a support animal. Seeing eye colleagues who maybe don't miss these kind of details, the assertiveness, for example, bring them into the interview. Help them look for your blind spots. This is no different than when I'm in the car with my wife and sometimes I can't see. I'll look over and say, "Hey honey, is there anything coming that way?" And she'll look and she can see things I can't, looking in the blind spot for me. You can have your own seeing eye colleague looking for your blind spots in interviews. And then number 3, learn your hiring style. Now this picture that you're seeing here is a picture of maximize your hiring style. It's an assessment I created. There are 4 hiring styles. Each hiring style has its strengths and weaknesses when it comes to seeing blind spots. If you understand your blind spots, your hiring style, you can bring in the right people, but you can also look for what you've been missing because you didn't know you were missing it. Hiring blindness is a curable, well, maybe even not curable, but it's something we can put into remission. We have to know about it first. We have to learn what we've been missing. We have to get help, those seeing eye colleagues, and we have to maximize the tools we have. That's our hiring style. If we do that, I can't promise you you're not going to miss anything ever again, but what I can promise, because lots of leaders have experienced this, is you're not going to be saying, "How did I miss that?" so often, because you're not missing those details. Either you'll see them or somebody else will see them because they were in your blind spot. And that's what this does. Hiring blindness, it can go in remission. You can get rid of it or cast it aside. It won't affect you as much anymore by taking those 3 steps.